listening to the Chartographers.
You're listening to The Chartographers! It is a music-loving podcast for music-loving people where we take every single album by a particular artist and we rank it from worst to first. It's a thing that we do, and guys, it's the penultimate episode of Season 3. We are very excited about it, because Season 3 has been a long one. It's been a long boy.
So long.
But, at the same time, we love it, and we love doing it, and while we are excited to take a break, we are closing out the season with a bang. And ultimately, we are just talking about an artist that is still active, that put out an album literally a month before we started recording, although it was kind of a remix album. But guys, we're going to dive into it. We're going to dive into one of the most angular, fascinating, and incredible songwriters and guitarists and musicians that is just working today. Someone who just brings joy into all of our lives with their art pop weirdness. That's right, guys. This week, we're talking about the one, the only, the artist that sounds like an electric guitar duct taped to a laptop that somehow got signed to Barcark Records. That's right, guys. We're talking about Saint Vincent! The polyphonic spree, if you're nasty. So, listen, Saint Vincent, it is Annie Clark. It is just one person in the band. Let's make that abundantly clear, because there's a lot of different places where it's just like featuring Annie Clark of Saint Vincent.
Are we even calling it a band? Isn't it a moniker?
Right, that's what I always thought. Everyone just needs to say Annie Clark of Saint Vincent. You mean Saint Vincent then,
Her name
right?
is Saint Vincent.
Holy crap.
It's like Prince.
Yeah. Anyway,
except his name was actually...
Yeah, that's very true.
That's
yeah, I know.
Anyway.
But long story short, she attended the Berklee College of Music, but didn't exactly finish it because she had such a draw to music. She was a touring musician in Sufjan Stevens' band for a while, which makes me think when I saw him during the Illinois tour, did I see her live?
Yeah, that's my question,
which is just freaky, because that's like a whole different universe back then.
Probably,
yeah.
Probably.
And then she also, of course, was a part of the super mega group that was the Polyphonic Spree before finally branching out on her own in 2007's album Marry Me. But since then, she's just become kind of, not necessarily an indie darling. She's yet to have like major commercial success, although her most recent album did debut in the Billboard Top 10. But she's someone that everyone goes to. She's just like the artist. She's the person that will work with the Chemical Brothers. She's going to step in and fill in, the Kurt Cobain role for Nirvana's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Like, she's just the person that goes to for all of that. It's a fascinating discography. We're going to dive into it, and we're so excited. Who's the we that's going to be doing the determining of what the best albums are? First off, there's me. I'm Evan. You probably know me. Host this podcast. Been there, done that. It's great. It's fun. But most importantly, if you know anything about this podcast, you know the person sitting next to me. That's right. It's the co-creator. The David Byrne is my Saint Vincent. That's right, guys. It is Taran O'Reilly.
Hello.
How you doing?
That's an interesting... I mean, I guess the one, main collaborator.
Right, I mean, I could say Jack Antonoff, maybe, but that's from one album. I don't really feel like... If I really wanted to, I could do Thomas Bartlett of
That's
Dubman.
true. I guess she worked with David Byrne a couple of times.
Yeah, so
great.
Great,
Love
we
it.
got that.
Take it.
Exactly, but even more than that, though, there's a guest that we have here. A beloved guest. He is a very good writer. He is an incredible DJ. He is the person who helps produce a First Time, the live show that happens in Chicago once every month. And most importantly...
Nope.
Once every 3 months.
Once every 3 months? Really?
Yeah, it's 4 times a year.
4 times a year. He does a show 4 times a year. It's so good. But most importantly, the only other fourth thing you need to know about this is that this is his 4th appearance on the show, which means he's in the echelon of the Chartographers All-Stars! That's right, guys! Is that like a air horn?
Yeah.
Hip-hop air horn to classical music?
It's not like... What did you... Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah,
It's not
Beethoven.
That's what I heard of. Anywho, Bobby Evers is in the studio, guys. We're really excited to have
Hi, thank you for having me.
How you doing, Bobby?
I am just as good as I was the last time I was here.
Which is when you were here for our extremely contentious and wonderful David Bowie episode.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which is fitting with St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
actually.
Didn't she do some sort of talk at the David Bowie exhibit at I Am David Bowie at the MCA, or am I mistaken?
That may have happened. I would
think
100%
so.
something.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. But still, anyway, we have a lot to go through because she has a very finite discography, which honestly, given this season, given that we've done these multi-album 15 disc sets from all these different artists, it's kind of a welcome break from things. But her albums are so utterly, very, and incredibly distinct. She hit the scene as a solo artist at St. Vincent with 2007's Marry Me after a couple of EPs and singles. She then kind of embellished her sound a little bit more with 2009's Actor. She then went a little bit on the weird end in a glorious fashion with Strange Mercy in 2011. She then got signed to Columbia Records and in conjunction with Loma Vista put out the self-titled Grammy-winning St. Vincent from 2014. And then in 2017, she hit the Billboard Top 10 on the album charts with Mass Seduction in 2017. Not to be confused with Mass Education, because that's what everyone says it. Even today, I was still pronouncing it like that. And she has played off of that term because in 2018, she put out a piano-based, like, low-key rendition of all the songs on Mass Seduction called Mass Education. Like, she gets it. You know, we're bad at pronouncing things. It's, you know, for humans, it's great. So the thing is that that's a pretty clean-cut discography. There's one kind of misnomer out there. I mean, aside from all the Polyphonic Spree albums, which we're not even going to talk about. But more importantly, she did, in 2012, she did a collaborative album with David Byrne, which is fascinating because it's just like, really? Like, it makes sense. They're kind of art pop weirdo type people, but like, yep, full bore. Apparently, over the course of 3 years, with the limited studio time and a lot of emails, they wound up doing this brass-heavy album together called Love This Giant. Now, previously in episodes, when it comes to collaborative albums like that, we're kind of it depends on the situation thing. Since I don't think we're going to be doing a David Byrne episode anytime soon, because he has so many goddamn collaborative albums with so many goddamn people. Like, it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
So for her, because of that, because we wouldn't do like a straight discography of him, because otherwise we'd do like 800 albums with his collabs. This is the one collab album she has. I feel like we can include this. And more importantly, I feel like it kind of helps tell the St. Vincent story a little bit, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's a very clear progressive arc
Absolutely.
that includes this album.
Yeah, and apparently it was like her idea to make it very brass heavy. That was her idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I learned a lot about this album, and I'm so excited to talk about it. But most importantly, though, Bobby, are you in agreement that should be included in our list?
I mean, I'll allow it.
Okay. You have feelings about it.
I have some feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's talk about them when
Okay.
we do the rankings. So,
Okay.
guys, just to recap, that is 6 albums. That is Marry Me, that is Actor, that is Strange Mercy, that is Love This Giant, that is St. Vincent, and that is Mass Seduction. All right, guys, 6 albums, 6 slots. Dearest Bobby Evers, recipient of a Chartographers t-shirt as of today, due to the fact that you are, in fact, a Chartographers All-Star.
Yes.
And you'll always be an All-Star. I want you to go ahead, if you wouldn't mind, and just nominate. You know, that's what we do. We nominate, we debate. Number 6, what would you nominate as the worst St. Vincent album? Which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
So fucking weird.
I'm so
weird
scared.
sentence.
I know.
So, having said that, I would say, like, I probably would put Love This Giant below the other St. Vincent albums. If we are ranking St. Vincent albums, my feeling would be that, like, this St. Vincent album isn't as good as the other St. Vincent albums. It's a good David Byrne album, but I don't know if it's the best St. Vincent album.
So, interesting that you say that, because I feel like, here's my thing about my journey this week. Earlier this season, Taran, when he talked about did our Happy Hour minisode for Spoon, he's like, guys, I fucking love Spoon. Like, for a band that he, like, always enjoyed or heard singles from, for him to go in, he just came out of it like, holy shit, I love this band a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. I kind of had the same thing with St. Vincent, and I don't know what it was always about, like, hearing these albums just kind of by itself or, like, piecemeal. I was like, I enjoyed her. Like, she was, you know, like, fun enough. And when, maybe it's just that we have the totality of her whole discography together, I'm like, holy fuck, you're great.
Yeah.
Like, it's like picking a worst album, like, it really didn't matter what you said, Bobby, because in some way or another you'd be right. Like, for me, there's no, like, clear, oh, that's bad.
Right.
Every album is so distinct in its own right. And for that reason, though, initially I had antipathy towards Love This Giant. Like, I love a good horn section. I love the horn arrangements that are on here. Apparently it was her idea. Apparently, aside from the song The Forest Awakes, they are all singing the verses that they wrote, except on The Forest Awakes, they actually swapped. They wrote verses for each other, which is actually kind of fun. And there's some solo moments on there. Ice Age is an Annie solo song. There are some amazing songs on here. I love the fact that this is such a bold step. This is like a creative challenge that they presented themselves to make clean, concise, but very, like, you know, great brass-driven pop songs. Like, I like that. In terms of lasting moments on here, I would say the enjoyment of this album, it is an experience. points, and I very much like that. I would say, personally, there are some fucking bangers on here. For me, specifically, I Should Watch TV and Lazarus are, like, my two favorite takeaways on
Lazarus is definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
I Should Watch
stand-up.
TV is like...
I should watch TV.
Well, it's not even about that. It's about the horn riffs. And that's, I mean, most of this
Once
album...
they're kind of Olympian, diddle-diddle-diddle, when they kind of come in and are the descending
Well,
notes,
even
like,
just
together.
under the verse, the bip, 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 bip,
Yeah.
bip. Freaking love that. I am also a really big fan of Optimist. It's a little,
Interesting.
it's a little obvious in that it's, like, they called it Optimist, and it's very much like, here's a joyful, like, hopeful chord progression with lots of horns, but I still I like what it's going for. Oh, I like Ice Age too.
Yeah.
Again, more for the arrangement than for the vocal melody specifically, but I don't know. I just think they really bring some cool things out of each other,
Yes.
and I like all of the horn lines on here. They're so frenetic. It reminds me a lot of the like MIDI work she was doing on Actor. And I also just had a weird thought with this album, which sort of made me question whether or not we should include it, was every time they're singing, it sounds like they're singing a melody the other one wrote for them, which you said it wasn't true at all. But it's just like, I can really tell that they're...
I get that sense, though.
They're inspired by each other. They're like, they know each other's body of work, clearly.
Yes.
And like, sort of, they know what to bring to this table specifically.
Right.
I really enjoyed this album, and it's definitely at the bottom. I do have one that I would put lower.
Okay. Bobby's smiling.
And that's Strange Mercy.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Cruel is great. I think it's solid. I don't think it's her best, like, because she has like a quote unquote pop single. It's not like a pop single in the traditional sense, but Annie's weird indie take on it on like most of her albums. And I think Cruel is one of the less effective of those. I also really love the specifically the chorus of Surgeon, that under everything. But then the verses, like, I kind of wish there was more going on. And then the rest of the album, with, a few exceptions, but it's just her most mid to low tempo album overall. There's a lot of, like, synths happening in the background that don't add a lot of momentum. And it's a little more amorphous than the rest of her discography to me.
I guess my feeling is that I would agree that it's mid-tempo and that there are a lot of synths, but sometimes I really feel that. I really feel those synths, and I really feel mid-tempo.
Yeah.
Like, I connect really hard with a lot of parts of this album, and I don't really connect with anything off of Love This Giant. Like, when I was listening to Love This Giant when it first
Like
came
on an
out,
emotional level? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I can't, like, get into this. And then when I was trying again this past week, I was like, this is still just not gelling with me. Whereas, like, there's so many hits to me on Strange Mercy.
And see, I actually kind of get that as well, because Love This Giant is still a very enjoyable album, and I think when we're talking about St. Vincent writ large, again, she doesn't have a point to that's the bad album for me. Like, there's not, like, a glaring omission.
Yeah.
But, like, it's kind of different taste, different aesthetics, and so Love This Giant, I do very much enjoy. I like putting it on. In terms of, like, great artistic achievements, I'm not sure if I'd put that in the same level as some of these things. Strange Mercy, for me, it doesn't feel like kind of the warped narrative version of the first two albums, because Marry Me and Actor, there's kind of like, there's a clear artistic evolution there, but it's still very much concise indie pop songwriting. Strange Mercy, she starts bending the formula a little bit. She starts kind of like feeling out her grooves. And so I would agree, yes, there are some moments on there that do not connect. And for me, honestly, and I had this discussion with earlier, and Bobby, I want to get your take on this. I don't think St. Vincent really knows how to close out an album. Like, the thing is that, like, she has some pretty good songs on there, but for the most part, like, her last song, and sometimes maybe the last one or two songs, there's always, like, kind of a weird afterthought. Like, she always ends the album on kind of, like, an unclosed note. Like, it's kind of, how I would say that, Taran.
Honestly, I would say Year of the Tiger is probably one of my favorite closers. And that's not saying a lot, because...
But
But Year of the Tiger, actually, like... it knows what it's doing, and it's a very interesting concept for a song to me.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, that also follows a Champagneer Dillinette.
You mean Dilettante?
Yes, and Hysterical Strength. Like these, but the thing is that like the last half of Strange Mercy is like doesn't really connect with me all that much.
Right.
I like lyrically what she's doing in a lot of these places, but melodically it's weird, and it's so weird because I really feel like the first half of the album is very strong. Because me, Chloe in the Afternoon, her weird dominatrix fantasy thing, it's so I hate that song gets in my goddamn head because it does this Chloe in the afternoon, Chloe in the after, Chloe,
which is a movie reference, right? Wasn't there a movie called Chloe in the
I
Afternoon?
believe so, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's kind of a dominatrix like vibe to it.
Oh
which is
yeah,
talking
wasn't
about
it
whips.
with? It was.
Yeah.
I think it was just called Chloe, and it was starring like the redhead. We were watching her last night.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm thinking of a movie from the 70s called Chloe in the Afternoon. And I was trying to watch the trailer at work, and I think there was like nudity in it. And I was like, why?
Nudity in the trailer?
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't the official trailer, because how could they get away with that?
Right, that
Unless-
doesn't. I mean,
don't know.
listen, I've seen YouTube do some pretty scurvy things on occasion.
Well, if you're logged in, you'll
Yeah.
never know what's parental locked.
Yeah, true. But then again, like Cruel, and the thing is, I know you talked about like it being an enjoyable pop song. Cruel is the first St. Vincent song because I was just a casual observer for the Marry Me Actor era. Cruel fucking got me so hard because that is like taking amazing pop hooks that would be great choruses for any other fucking song and layering them on top of each other. You have that little like that boom, 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 like this kind of thumping bass, and then you have the do 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 like this pure fucking like disco-tastic thing. Then you have the guitar line doing its own thing, and it's just like she's just fucking showing off at that point. I like when she would does a pop song. She's like, let's do 800 pop songs at the same time, and like there's something indulgent about that I love. But Surgeon is great. Northern Lights, kind of this like little bit more of a raw traditional rock number. Enjoy that as well. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, I might agree with you on Strange Mercy, simply because.
I mean, there will be no love lost.
I know.
regardless of
Really,
what
with
it
again,
says.
this is such a weird discography to do because I kind of feel it. The only other thing that I would do, and this might be the hottest take in the world, I don't know how anyone else feels about it.
You're nominating a third album for last place?
Maybe.
No, go ahead.
Maybe.
No, do it.
100%, and this is just me and my aesthetic. Self-titled St. Vincent doesn't do as much for me.
You guys are crazy.
No, I actually.
We are psychopaths, as you could say.
Okay, go. What were you gonna say?
No, so I like very much enjoy self-titled St. Vincent. I feel like it's her very much exploring that fine line between pop and kind of like that experimental indie sense more than anything else before. You definitely hear that she's learned the lessons from Love This Giant, because Digital Witness, there was no way she would have written that song had Love That Giant not happened. And that's a fucking amazing, goddamn fucking great song. I love that. It's just like powerful and propulsive and forceful. And then like the rest of there's a lot of other songs on there. Birth in Reverse, honestly, never did it for me.
Oh, man.
When that came out as a lead single, I was just like, really?
I thought that was her getting weird, and I was just like here for it. I'm like, yes, get weird. Be guitar.
Well, and that, I mean, you guys keep saying, like you said about Strange Mercy in the intro, that it was her getting weird, and like Birth in Reverse is her getting weird. She's always been weird. From day one, she's been
always been
super
weird.
Well,
weird.
she
So
had-
like, it's not like, oh, all of a sudden, like,
Yeah. But I feel like but here's the thing I'll say about her, and the whole reason we're talking about this, I feel like she finds new ways of being weird. Like, I always feel like she is finding this perfect line between, like, experimentalism and, like, kind of a traditional indie pop sense. It is walking it ever so carefully.
this album surprised me a lot this week because I didn't love it when it first came out. I don't know. I was so into her during Actor, and then I kind of fell off for a bit. But this week, I love all of the guitar work and the hook on Rattlesnake. I think it's so fun. I think Birth in Reverse is like aggressive in exactly the right way. Prince Johnny, I'll even give a pass because it reminds me of like an ABBA ballad, which I never thought that she would do. I think that Huey Newton, the second half specifically,
when the guitar
is like
starts coming
so,
in, yeah.
Fuck it, it kicks. I really like Regret. I think Bring Me Your Loves is actually, that one gets stuck in my head a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That one? Okay.
Yeah. And then Every Tear Disappears. It's like, I like the build that it has.
Mm-hmm.
It surprises you. It doesn't quite come out the gate with everything that it's showing. So basically what I'm saying is that, hell no.
To put it lightly.
This album, I was really surprised how much each of the songs was sticking with me this week. Way more than I would have expected. I never would have put it towards the top before we started, but I think I might have it there now.
Right. And, like, I actually like, the thing is, I'm not sure how every once in a while, like, musically and lyrically, sometimes these things work in harmony with each other. Harmony, because I said that. But, like, Severed Cross Fingers, the closer on there, like, that's, like, a fine melody. Lyrically, it's incredibly bizarre and, like, out there, talking about essentially, like, you know, like your spleen being dried and then finding your severed crossed fingers stuck in the rubble. Like, there's just kind of this sense of, like, overall regret. And I love that there's always this kind of sense of, like, gloom, doom, apocalypse that's kind of about her lyrics. There's always this... I think that she and David Byrne really connected because David Byrne is a lyricist. He's never a sentimentalist. He's always a person who's always an observer of the human condition. And her, I always feel like she's trying to articulate either her isolation or her loneliness. Apparently, Strange Mercy, she was actually in Seattle. Jason McGurr, the drummer of Death Cab for Cutie, he's like, hey, I'm selling this office, but it's not going to, like, move for another month. You want to stay there? So she literally just went to an office that was abandoned and recorded, like, wrote everything and, like, started recording a lot of that stuff for, like, a month. Because of course she fucking did. Which is why it kind of also has very much a different feel instead of the full band embellishments of, you know, Marry Me or Actor. Like, the colors are different, you know, to put it, you know, texturally. She's also very good at picking out her album art, I just want to say. Always fascinating. Incredible. So, yeah, it's one of the things where I don't have as strong an emotional connection to St. Vincent, the self-titled album. I feel like I appreciate a lot of what's going on. Melodically, there's some really interesting things in there, but much like how Bobby feels towards Love This Giant, I'm not in the same, like, place in terms of... Because I don't remember what fucking Psychopath sounds like, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah,
No.
But that being said, I understand we are a compromising type of group. Go ahead.
Bobby, what do you think about self-titled?
I think that self-titled is great. I would rank it in, like, the top 3. It was named Album of the Year by several publications that year, and so for my money, that was, like, the one to beat for herself.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Okay. Well, at the very least, I think maybe we can potentially come to a somewhat of a compromise here. Maybe we can do Strange Mercy at 6 and Love This Giant at 5.
How do you feel about that?
I'm great with that.
Should we do that? Do that, lock it in, move on? Okay, guys, we're having a lively and wonderful discussion. And the thing is that, like, Strange Mercy...
Just because you call it lively doesn't mean...
Yeah. But the thing is, Strange Mercy, the fact that that's number 6, it's weird how, like, it's there, and, like, sure, it's number 6, but at the same time, I know there are
not bad.
Right!
So
and I know there are
good.
people that would be like, oh, that's my number 1, easily, too. Like, it's unlike, you know...
Like, Champagne Year has stayed with me for years.
Really?
Like, it's my New Year's Day song.
I like that because, like, I do feel like she's had a weird time kind of adjusting with fame, and I like how Champagne Year is basically my job is to tell you things you want to hear. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting sentiment. Like, she's kind of grappling with the idea of being a musician professionally.
But I do think that you're onto something with she's not known for the way that she, like, closes an album. I think that Champagne Year could have been the closer of the album, and it would have been really strong.
Oh my god, yes.
Right, if she had just switched Year of the Tiger and Champagne Year,
Sure.
it would have been a whole different thing.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, listen, we got 6, we got 5. Taryn, number 4 out of what we got
it's me?
left.
Now
yes.
it's
you. Bobby relishes the opportunity.
Okay, this is hard, but I think at this point I would have to go with Marry Me.
Fuck you. No way. No way in fucking hell. Goddamn no.
Wow.
Anyway, tell me what you think.
Okay. God damn.
Yeah.
No, I think Marry Me, I had never checked it out before this
Same,
week.
honestly.
And I was really surprised. Actually, fun story briefly. The first St. Vincent song I ever heard was Paris is Burning.
Oh.
Because they did a dance to it on So You Think You Can Dance.
Wow.
They did.
Yeah.
It's
And
kind
of
of a good song for that, actually.
Yeah, you know, they were all dressed in, like, Victorian outfits and moving all weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's, like, burned into my memory. But this album, again, I was very surprised, actually, at how not weird it was. After knowing, you know, paying attention to the rest of her outfit.
Yeah. Outpick.
Paying attention to the rest of her output, I was very surprised, you know, she worked with David Bowie's pianist on this record.
He did the piano interlude, We Put a Pearl in the Ground.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because there are definitely a couple other songs on here where I hear the Bowie influence, but I think that's just, again, because she's not as out there with her arrangements and melodies yet. But, like, The title track.
Uh-huh.
The title track is just so lovely. And it's like...
So aching.
It's so aching, and her performance on it is perfection.
God,
and
yes.
it's definitely one of my favorite St. Vincent songs, like hands down. I think Landmines is really fun. Your Lips Are Red. That's probably the first hint of the weirdness.
Right. But like that propulsive drumming that's going on there, like it's just like, and I agree, because one of the things where, like, it would, Marry Me is certainly her most traditional album. I was surprised how, like, end to end I connected with this album, like, so much. The thing is that, like, I feel like there's certain moves on her, like, honestly, now, when the guitar strum comes in, when they can build up to it, and they, you know, they do that, it just feels very Barstool Records. It feels very, like, kind of that Death Cab for Cutie thing, which is so interesting to hear her do that pose, because she doesn't really do it again. But then the rest of the album, there was just, like, so many lovely moments. The Apocalypse song fucking grabbed me and knocked me the fuck out this week. That was the one where, like, it had that right amount of, like, electronic weirdness to it, but still married to this, you know, song that's basically like, hey, I know you have your convictions, but can we fuck before the world ends? And I love that. Like, it's basically like, because you're fucking Christian uptight and you don't want to fuck me, that's kind of your bad, and you're gonna lose out because of that. And, like, I love that. Like, even then, because you look at the cover, I remember when the album came out, like, seeing the cover art, like, it says Marry Me, like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what the aesthetic is.
I kind of like that cover. It makes me think of, like, 70s solo records where it's like, you know, like Melanie or like whatever. So here's what I want to say about Your Lips Are Red. I got into this album when it first came out, and I really liked Marry Me, and there are just more and more songs that would stand out to me the way any good record does. But Your Lips Are Red, I think that, like, I listened to it too much and eventually was like, I'm kind of done with this song. But then...
I hate when I do that.
But then when I saw her perform it at the Chicago Theater on, I want to say, the Strange Mercy tour, it was the most epic performance ever. Like, the light had, like, there was a red spotlight on the stage, everything was red, she was scary, she went into the crowd and they were hoisting her, and she was still playing her guitar, and then, like, by the time she got back to the stage and was singing the part where she's like, your skin is so fair, it's not fair, it sounded like a different song, and it was just like, what did we just see? This is so much better live than on the record. But yeah, I feel like there's a few tracks like that where it's like, this, it works in theory, but I don't know if it, like, shakes out, which is why I would second Taran.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's, I love what you just said. There's a lot of it works in theory on here.
Yeah.
And a lot of parts, this is the only time where I hear it and I'm like, oh, you're copying this pose.
Yeah.
You know, which makes sense. It's her debut. She's still finding herself.
Right.
And for a debut, it's very solid. But,
better than most debuts.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But she has reached such artistic heights since then that this feels the least St. Vincent-y of the albums we have left.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for me, like, I just still relate to so many of the songs. I feel like because it's one of those things when I look at the track list, there's not that many weak parts for me, honestly. Honestly, Jesus Saves I Spend
I love that song.
That might be the weakest song on it for me, personally. Just because I think about, like, kind of the gorgeous honeyed sound of All My Stars Align. Like, it's just this lovely ballad. I just feel like I wasn't expecting to enjoy this album as much as I did, which is why I'm standing for it a little bit, just because I was so surprised. And the thing is, I also feel like it is a direct parallel and contrast to Actor. I really feel like, when I think about the early St. Vincent, like, it's not just the fact that these two albums are the first two albums. They're very much, they're kind of symbiotes for each other. Strange Mercy feels like an outlier. It feels like kind of very much, and everything since then has its own weird sense of direction.
Yeah.
But Actor and Marry Me feel like flip sides of each other in such an interesting... Right, because, like, Actor for me, it feels like kind of a much more weirder, much more confident, but I don't know, there's something about it that I can't exactly place my finger on. So, like, it's weird because as much as Marry Me is easy to peg as terms of, like, the indie rock debut pop songstress, there's something that I'm able to identify and quantify with that. More so than Actor to a certain degree, just because Actor, as bold as it is and as daring as it is, there are certain moments on there that I feel like just flat out don't work, while Marry Me, there's moments that are just kind of like, That's kind of like my constant back and forth.
Yeah, but I'd rather have her taking risks than having them pay off. Because for me, the stuff on Actor, when it does work, is like up there with the best of her shit. Marrow is like one of my favorite songs, or it used to be. I think probably it's been passed by
already
some of
this
her-
week. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you had asked me before this week what my favorite St. Vincent song was, well, I might have said Los Angeles, but I could have said Marrow.
Right.
And I just love how there's a certain sense of just like unease and danger on this record.
That's fair.
That even when it's not working, there's still, you know exactly what it's trying to do. And even when the melodies aren't as successful, the emotion still is.
Yeah.
If
Talking
that
about
makes
Marry Me?
sense. No, I'm talking about actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like how the opening to Save Me From What I Want, that very kind of like atonal
Save Me
keyboard
From
sound
What I Want.
before it,
Yeah, well, and that Save Me From What I Want is like, that's just brilliant.
Yeah.
The way, and I love the way that, it opens with that like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then when that comes back in later in the song, it works perfectly, even though when it first transitions out of it, you're like, that was abrupt and odd, but it's like, it's a taste of how she's going to use it later. I think The Strangers is really good. Actor Out of Work is
Out of Work.
solid.
The thing is that, like, one of the things that I think is interesting about the conception of St. Vincent is that she is just this absolute guitar god. And make no mistake, she is. If you get a chance, do us a favor, YouTube St. Vincent Dig a Pony, when she did that at All Points West Festival. Because it's her doing the song on solo electric guitar with no other backing, and fucking murdering the goddamn stage with her prowess. But the thing is that she's not really like, oh, she's a crazy soloist, listen to this. Every guitar line, everything she does is always in conjunction with the song. Like, she has a couple solos, but, like, they're not, like, blow you away noodling.
It's either her guitar work is either, like, worked into the structure of the song, or if it's a solo, there is such a blown out filter on it that you can almost not tell what the notes are. But that's completely by design, and I think that's why she gets so much acclaim, is because she's unafraid to be just like blatantly messy.
Yeah.
And because she has such skill, it's like that much more impressive.
Right,
you
and
know?
that's why for me, Actor Out of Work is just kind of this pounding rocker that we don't get as much from her, like just to do like a straight ahead rock number.
Right,
and
just like four
and
to
I
the
dig
floor.
that. And
yeah.
even then, she still has those. She loves, especially on the early albums, those like choirs of vocals that she does. That
Well,
yeah.
I think it's very important to know when listening to Actor that she wrote and arranged the entire thing on GarageBand and MIDI before taking it to actual band members.
So there is a MIDI version of this somewhere.
There is some. I'd
like to hear it.
I haven't heard it, but I can
The
still
Chartographers at gmail.com.
send it to us. I can still hear that influence though. Like there's definitely certain parts on here in a way that doesn't come back on her other records where I can tell like, oh, this was programmed at some point. Like specifically though, that like string break or the like flute break that opens Marrow, like you can tell that it's played by real artists on the actual record, but because of the odd ways that it's timing moves, you can tell that it started off sort of robotic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get that, but I feel like she kind of offsets that because of the way she embraces orchestration and strings in this album a little bit too. Because I feel like, for me, Black Rainbow, the way it starts out, just like it's so like light and fluttery, and then it kind of like brings down the heaviness as it heads the ascension near the end. I dig that. Also, Laughing with a Mouth of Blood is just goddamn great. Like, that's just one of her best like pop melodies that she ever did, I think. And I give her credit too, because like when I hear a song like The Bed, which is a weird song about looking for monsters under the bed and having a gun and like protecting everything, how like it just kind of like starts and then the last 2 minutes are just like sounds, and it's just like, oh, we're going on a journey here. Like, it's just a very bold and specific choice that she makes, and like I'm behind it. But then I follow that up with like Just the Same but Brand New, and it's like, like, that's more forgettable for me than basically any song off of Marry Me.
So the way that I feel is that Marry Me, like, you can tell that she's trying to do, like, an ambitious songwriting thing with a narrative, with Paris is Burning and things like that, like, but I feel like she succeeds better on Actor because I feel like having like 5 songs that sound like the titles of short stories, like The Strangers, The Neighbors, The Bed, The Party, The Sequel. Like that to me makes like a more cohesive album experience. And I've always loved the song The Party. Like that's always been like a standout for me. Like honey, the party you went away quickly. Like that just gets stuck in my head all the time. So like I don't know.
Yeah, I sort of agree on that point. I think Actor, even though the last like 4 songs for me are sort of disposable, but the top of the record is just like so solid and so interesting that I think it just has like a tiny leg up on Marry Me.
So would you guys be comfortable putting Marry Me as number 4 and Actor as number 3?
I mean, I wouldn't, but if that's the way y'all vote, then that's
where I'm leaning.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if I'm outvoted, what am I supposed to do here?
You are outvoted.
I mean, the thing is that, like, I still stand by it. I feel like, as much as and I do appreciate the boldness and ambition in Actor, Marry Me just genuinely surprised me. And that's the thing, I'm a sucker for a good debut album, simply because it always feels like this could be your only chance to do this. And so I always feel like, in certain bands, they will build up to it, and their first album's not going to be their best effort. See the Flaming Lips, but like here, this very much feels like she put so much into it, and I love it's considered, and I love hearing that when she does these songs live, she's still reinventing them. She is an artist who is constantly reinventing her stuff, and I appreciate that so much.
I also would like to, just so that it does not go unsaid, Marry Me is an Arrested Development reference.
Yes,
which
it
I love.
is.
Like Marry Me,
Marry Me.
Like,
yeah,
that's
okay,
so great. That's so great.
Which I love. It also shows that she's human and knows her human ways and wares.
Right.
Which is our generation, which is, I think, is fantastic. All right, guys, so in that case, just to catch you up, we are number 6, Strange Mercy. Number 5, Love This Giant. Number 4, Marry Me. Number 3, Actor, which leaves a blood, death, knockout, drag-out fight between her 2 most recent albums, St. Vincent and Mass Seduction. So I feel like we've talked about St. Vincent a bit. Before we even talk about ranking anything, can we just talk about Mass Seduction?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this is a moment for her. It really is. This is the moment where I feel like it's her most accessible album writ large. End of story.
This is the most accessible album?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you disagree with
not even Marry Me? Like earlier we were saying that Marry Me was like a safe indie rock darling one.
Right, but I feel like this is, I mean, a safe indie rock darling is different than something where you could actually put on Los Angeles and hear that in radio, or maybe, let's say, the opening and intro of season 5 of BoJack Horseman. Yep. You know, like, when it works perfectly in that context.
I think having that in that episode made me appreciate the song even more. I was like, damn, that is a banger once I hear that.
But also, you want to talk about, and here's the other thing too, like, as I love Marry Me deeply, but you want to talk about pop choruses. How can anybody have you? How can anybody have you and lose you? How can anybody have you and lose you and not lose their mind?
Or how about Mass Seduction? I can't turn off what turns me on. Like, that's, I mean, as part of me didn't want to put this at the top just because, like, you know, the indie purist in me was like, no, give it to something she did, like, herself, that's her full statement. But, like, Jack Antonoff did such a fucking great job producing this record with her and bringing out all of the, like, strong pop threads that she's always had, and not dulling her weirdness, because we heard other Jack Antonoff produced albums in this same year and they were much more bland. So, like, I love
Look
that.
What you made me do.
For example. But I think, like, New York is simple in the way that I didn't know that she was still going to do. Just because, I think it makes more sense now that I've heard Marry Me. But, like, she's been so out there and, like, blurbly synthy and crunchy guitar for so long that, like, just hearing her do, like, straightforward piano, like, singing on the corner pop music was, like, perfect.
Who do you imagine she's talking to in New York?
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, and we have a lot to say
We
about
have
Johnny.
theories.
Happy birthday, Johnny. So the Johnny trilogy, for those who don't know, it starts with Marry Me, this title track from the debut album, which is Marry Me, John.
Marry me, John, I'd be so good to you.
We should put out a record.
Yeah.
Okay.
A covers record.
A St. Vincent covers
It'll
record?
be called Drunk Feist.
And everyone will... Anyway. No,
But, yeah, Bobby, I think you just earned yourself a Charties nomination. That's what I'm saying right now. But more importantly, though, and I agree that. So there's that, and then there's Prince Johnny, and especially with fucking Happy Birthday, Johnny. It's basically this thing about you know me better than anyone else, and you call me maybe sometimes. And the last I heard, you're basically homeless, and you don't want any help. And it's just like it feels like a person, someone that knows you that knows you very well or used to know you very well that you had that connection with, who's drifted off and is doing their own thing. And yeah,
I did also have a theory that New York might be about Cara Delevingne.
That was my theory. That's who I imagined.
Because Young Lover is almost definitely about her.
Right. She's a baby.
yeah.
A literal baby.
But then, I mean, like, there's just so many great things. Sugar Boy is honestly fantastic. I feel like it's that propulsive thing that we needed, that we didn't get from a couple other things. And more importantly, Pills. Pills is a song that is complex as all get out, and feels effortless. It feels absolutely effortless.
And I love, because Hang On Me is like a perfectly nice opener, but then as soon as you hear the like tick, 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 at the like the intro of Pills, you're like, oh shit, the album's really starting.
Yeah.
Like that sort of like opens the floodgates for the rest of the insanity that's going on like the next 4 tracks.
Yeah.
I regret not seeing her on this tour.
Oh my god.
Same.
What were we
Yeah.
thinking? We
weren't thinking.
Well, I went from my guru to voodoo to zen. Like, even that fucking line off of the end of the verse is almost as catchy as virtually any other thing out there. And again, it feels like this is her at her most accessible. This is her writing choruses that are hummable and immediate and directly catchy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like she's compromising shit. It really doesn't. It feels like a bold next step for her artistic vision, which is pretty incredible, honestly. Like, the fact that she's even at that point where these songs are still complex and still kind of weird. I mean, what I mean kind of weird? Fucking crazy weird. Like, Lost Ageless. You know, I was like, girls in cages are playing their guitar. Wow. Like, she's just, like, the form, the function, everything is just wonderful across it. Now, I will say, there are some moments that don't work as well for me on Mass Seduction. Savior is kind of a...
How does that go?
That's it starts with the like almost honky tonk guitar line. Do you know? I can't even describe
Sometimes
it.
there are moments that are forgettable or not immediately retrievable.
Or like
so.
Fear the Future isn't my favorite.
Sounds like
but
an X-Men movie.
This it totally does. But this
Same
also
things
has
in a
slow
sideline.
disco on it.
Yeah.
Which took some time to grow on me. Like my favorite part was when I don't even know who the other vocalist is. It sounds like someone I know, but at the end of Slow Disco, the don't need the slow day.
Yeah.
And which is even better when it's fast slow disco.
Yeah,
and
when
there's
she turned
more
it into a fucking
vocalizations.
banger. Yeah.
It's funny though because I don't think she changed the tempo that much. It's a little faster, but it's still mid-tempo.
But yeah, it's just great. Bobby, what are your thoughts? Walk us through.
Man, this is a tough one for me because I as I said before, like I feel like St. Vincent is where a lot of critics have her like peaking, and so then the challenge for her would be to follow up Mass Seduction
Every goddamn time. Take a shot. Take a shot.
So like she has to top herself or try to not care about topping herself, and so I don't know how I feel. This is tough because I feel like these two albums are sort of on par for me. Like, they are equal.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
the one thing I didn't say about self-titled St. Vincent is that I Prefer Your Love. Taran and I were talking about it. I feel like that is such a deliberate homage to Don't Let It Bring Me Down by Annie Lennox, that big washed-out synth kind of sound. And also, it's just I Prefer Your Love to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus comes up a little bit during her songs.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of, like the subversive nature of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like...
Well, I think that ties into the thought that self-titled, she was sort of thinking of it as like a cult leader. Like, that's what she was going for with the video for Digital Witness. It's what she was going for with the album art. And so, kind of, if you look at the story of this record, I can see a bit. She's thinking of it, you know, with like Psychopath, with severed crossed fingers, every tear disappears. Like, there's always been a dark nature, but there's definitely like some cult like sort of, it's like, it's not mysticism, but it is like Big Brother.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like the idea that the album that she names after herself is the one that's the cult one. Because she's like, all of you are in my cult, and you always have been. Congratulations, you find yourself here in a cult. Yeah.
That being said, though, in Mass Seduction's Smoking Section, it's a fine song. I'm kind of surprised that's the closer, especially after Slow Disco,
right?
Which would have like
does this.
I know every fucking time like that. I don't give a shit about
the
the sequel.
She ends on a banger and then and then follows up with like an afterthought.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm not sure what it is because remember like the White Stripes, they always end their album on like a goofy or like an optimistic note, just like some like toss
She's
up.
a pretty nice girl, but it's done a lot to say.
Exactly. Yeah, like you know, like they always had a way to like always end the things, and here she's just kind of like an afterthought. Like sure, like You're the Tiger, What Me Worry, those are like good songs, but overall it's just like I don't know what it is about her in sequencing.
Yeah, it's like
her intros are also sometimes a little bit questionable, but that's its own thing.
It's like she feel like she can't begin or end on like a huge bold statement.
Right.
Well, that no Rattlesnake she did, which is probably.
But can you
why that
imagine if
album's
Mass
up
Seduction
here.
opened with Los Angeles? You know, like I had that little like electro beat kind of come in.
I don't know. I wouldn't have put Los Angeles at the top. No. I would have opened with maybe. No, I like how Mass Seduction opens, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she always... Well, Smoking Section is a perfect summation of how she ends her albums, because for me, it feels like she always wants to end in, like... Okay, so, like, the band is done playing. They're already off stage. Some of them left and had to go home to their wives, and so now it's just, like, her alone at a piano in a smoky bar, like, closing the night down. Mm-hmm. You know, like, the party has already happened, and now there's just, like, the few stragglers at last call. Yeah. That's how her
Maybe all of these albums are a party that she's hosting, and then she's the one that has to see out the door every time.
Yes.
I think I know where I'm landing.
Where are you landing, Bobby Evers?
I think... Bear with me on this.
The sirens are your brain right now, because this is going to be the hottest of all possible takes.
I think number 2, St. Vincent, number 1, Mass Seduction.
Yes!
That's where I'm leaning.
It's one of those things where, I mean, you know my feelings about St. Vincent. I nominated it a bit ago, but this is also a 6-album stretch, so it's not really like that much of a thing. I just feel like Mass Seduction is just great. I am very big a fan of it. I love the directions that she goes.
I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
It, like, again, it's not like I had stopped paying attention, but I had definitely stopped giving her albums, I think, the attention they deserved, and Mass Seduction, like, really pulled me back in. As soon as I heard Los Angeles for the first time, I was like, oh, I need this record.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love that we're putting it up top.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that she just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see where else she takes it.
What is she going to do? How could she top herself next? What could she possibly do?
Yeah, well, and the thing is, I think she's still figuring it out, because the way that she was able to take Slow Disco and do so many different versions of it, like she, all these things, she's still playing with it. The fact she did Mass Education.
She clearly loves this album a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because she keeps...
finding new nuances.
She keeps retooling it.
Yeah. So, like, and I love that she's at this point where, like, between that and what Bobby says about seeing her live, like, the fact that she's still retooling things, like, she's still in a state of discovery. And I love that. It's not just, this is who I am. It's like, she's still experimenting along, just with more confidence and more artistry than ever before. So, guys, that is it. Number 6, Strange Mercy. Number 5, Love This Giant. Number 4, Marry Me. Number 3, Actor. Number 2, St. Vincent. And number 1 is Mass or as she likes to say sometimes, ass education.
Oh, yeah.
Because apparently that's when the album came out, like, one of her friends, like, looked at the label and said, oh, so it's ass education? She's like, that's not the title, but you're not wrong. Yeah.
It does prominently feature her butt on the album art.
And I love it. So, guys, listen, that's great, but listen, we also have so much more to talk about. We need to talk about seeing her live. We need to talk about her collabos. We need to talk about all the fucking time that she did a remix of Maroon 5, because that happened. A lot of things to go through.
What the fuck was that?
That's in our Happy Hour minisode right after this. In the meantime, though, if you liked anything that you heard and you want to sound off on it, throw us a comment on the SoundCloud, on the Facebook, on the Twitter, or, send us an email to thechartographers@gmail.com. If you review us and rate us on iTunes, those reviews help visibility for the show and are a big help. If you could do that, you know what else is a big help? Having someone like Bobby Evers in studio.
Hi.
Bobby, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I hope you can make it a week later when we record the Happy Hour minisode on this.
Oh, is that next week?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we're very excited about it. It's very good. In the meantime, though, keep on listening because you know that we'll be. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.
Heat of the moment, I thought that I could myself.
What you doing?
I just forgot to do that.
I forgot to do that. Sorry.